thanks for joining in on this beautiful Sunday morning, and thanks for joining this series, Car News is Our News. Today we are going to talk especially about a brand new model for 2021. Have you guys heard? Remember that special car from Back to the Future way back in the 80s? The Delorean DMC-12. Guess what? It's back. Let's get into it now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with exoticcarplayplace. So you guys all remember that great stainless steel car that was featured in Back to the Future back in the 80s. That's right, the Delorean DMC-12, and that car was produced from 1981 to 1983. Now it is a low production car, and John DeLorean actually had the original intent on selling far more than he actually did. Now out of about 9,000 models that were sold worldwide, only about 6,000 are still alive. Many were crashed and destroyed. And quite honestly, they weren't a great car to begin with. With a Volvo V6 of 2.8 liters displacement, it produced a meager and paltry 130 horsepower. Barely had enough to get out of its own way. You couple that with an automatic transmission, that thing was as dull as riding a goat at the carnival. Yeah, it just wasn't all that exciting. Now, surprisingly, the car had very few recalls or significant issues. A few worth mentioning are fuel injection related problems, throttle cable linkages that could get water in there, freeze up, and then stop working, and suspension parts that could work their way loose, come apart entirely, allowing the car to easily lose control. But outside of that, DeLorean really wanted the car to be recognized as one of the safest cars on the road. After all, it was created with stainless steel. It should be strong, right? Now, with DeLorean trying to attain that name of DSV, or DeLorean Safety Vehicle, the intent really was to give a personification or a perception of extremely safe driving experience. But then they tested it at 40 miles per hour. And let me just say, the results were not quite as DeLorean expected. Now, how about a little performance figures? How about a 0 to 60 mile per hour time in about 9 seconds flat? And a top speed of about 110 miles per hour. Really wasn't that awe-inspiring. But when it came out, it was really only about 25 grand, and quite frankly, was really relatively affordable for a low production number, unique vehicle with gull-wing doors, so it did seem like a great value for the dollar. Now, of course, it had a manual, you can get an automatic, so there were some options too. Now, another little fun fact, Grumman Industries, who is also part of creating the F-14 and some other great designs in industry, were also collaborated with to create these gull-wing design, which of course was tested under rigorous conditions and shown to be highly reliable. So back in about 2015-16, there were some regulations created for small car manufacturers such as DeLorean, which allowed up to 325 models per year to be produced to keep the numbers down. What this meant were, sure, there were strict regulations around the safety and the quality and reliability of some of these cars, but they didn't have to go through the full rigorous testing that most typical cars have to experience, just because the sheer cost and outlay of low manufactured numbers. Now, while it's not entirely cleared yet, in 2021 looks like a projected date for the next level DeLorean. That's right, it's actually a new version of the old car. It is still a new car, or recycled if you will, but they're still going through some regulatory hoops that they have to jump through to satisfy the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and the Environmental Protection Agency, of course, the EPA. All these regulatory bodies actually play a part whether these cars can proceed or not. The way things are going, there's a few details, a few I's to dot, and a few T's to cross, and it looks like in 2021 we'll be able to get our hands on a brand new DMC-12. So you're probably asking yourself, what is that new DMC-12, or what is the new DeLorean, if you will, going to be like? Is it going to be the old 130 horsepower dud that we had back then with a 3-speed auto on the tree? No, it's not going to be. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a lot more expensive. It's going to be in the tune of about $100,000 US. However, it'll likely feature a 3.5 liter V6 engine that's suggested to produce over 300 horse in that 300 to 350 horsepower range. So it's going to have a lot more oomph. So you're probably asking yourself, I'm really intrigued and this sounds very interesting to me. How do I sign up? How do I apply for this? I'll include the link down in the comment section below. But for now, have a look. This page shows the DeLorean pre-order interest application form that you can fill out, I can fill out if you are interested. It asks for your name and number, location where you live, what do you prefer, manual, automatic transmission. There's a lot of details you fill out, but it does sort of allow you to get on a list, and it gives them some idea as to the sort of numbers that they can expect to fill. So rumor also has that you're not going to have to expect the same old technology that you see back in the 81 car. No, in fact, there's already talk that the headlights are going to be updated. There may be LEDs. You're going to have improved taillight systems, better wheel and tire packages. It'll probably sit at a better ride height, and certainly with the better engine, they're going to outfit the interior as you would expect a modern day vehicle to look like. For 100 grand, it's going to represent a typical good value for a low production number car, and I am excited and can't wait to see what DeLorean has when this final car hits the streets. Thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to click on the link over here. That's going to take you to the greatest new 2020 luxury and performance cars, or click on this link for the worst luxury cars in 2020. Hope to see you guys real soon. Catch you then. Bye-bye.